Using your six. Reloading.
Nice. Real nice. Yep, it's another year for us clowns to purchase Call of Duty. I'm here to basically rant about the game, but before I do that, I want to talk about what the game does really well, because I think a lot of people have been either hating on this game or dick riding it, and I want to find the middle ground here. Modern Warfare 2, new one, is actually really fun. I had a blast playing it when I have been. I played the beta a bit. I had some complaints, but overall it was really fun to play. Now that the full game is out, I can comfortably say that with a couple patches, the game is going to be really fun and really replayable. We didn't quite have this same kind of read that we had in other games like Cold War, but overall it's fun, and I think it'll get there faster, like finished product. That being said, there are a lot of issues with this game that I feel people are just not talking about, or they are talking about it, but you only see it every once in a while. So without further ado, let's talk about the abysmal launch of this game and what they did right and wrong. Let's first talk about what they did really well. I think when I'm in games, the gunplay is very satisfying. Now obviously it's always going to be satisfying. It's a Call of Duty game. It's been getting tighter and tighter every year, and the shit is always really good. The perk system I'm not a huge fan of, but a lot of people have been enjoying it, and the overall objectives on some of the maps seem a little off and a little unbalanced, but for the most part it's pretty good. The spawn system is solid. It's not the best or the worst, but there's some inconsistencies there. They definitely went in the direction of Modern Warfare 2, the old one, as in everything is very strong. Most of the guns will 2 or 3 shot you pretty comfortably. The time to kill in this game is very quick, and it makes for a relatively fast-paced game. There's not a lot of movement abuse in this game, which is also amazing, especially if you're a boomer like myself, who is not so good at the Call of Duty games anymore. Overall, it's good. The maps are definitely better than Modern Warfare 2019, which I was really worried about. Yeah, the customization is still all there. The gunsmiths is still there. So it does that very well. And I do also have to point out that they already fixed a couple of the issues that I had major gripes with. Number one, they fixed the issue where people would not be able to see if they were enemies or friendlies, basically. They didn't have a red name tag or a red dot or anything in front of them, so it was really hard to see enemies, especially in the beta. But they definitely fixed that. Something that they did really well in their campaign is they definitely played on the retroactive Modern Warfare 2 characters. They brought back Ghost, obviously. They have Shepard, they have Soap, they're really nice characters that we have grown to love, and they just took a different direction with how the plot was going to be made. Now obviously I think it's a little lame at how they didn't really change up anything in terms of the late game. I mean, obviously General Shepard's going to be the bad guy, as we already all knew, but I just wish they went a little bit more creative about it. It's not that much different, and I would rank it probably around B-, maybe C tier. But overall the missions were good, and if you take out a couple of them towards the end of the campaign, it would definitely be an A tier campaign. I do also really enjoy the Spec Ops. I haven't been able to play with it too much, but the ones that I have been playing, they're actually really fun and relatively enjoyable. They're not that much different than the campaign, and I'm kind of upset about how there's a lack of it seemed like there was kind of just the third game mode, you know. It didn't seem like they put a ton of effort into it, so I was kind of upset with that, but I can't complain too much. It's still solid, and I haven't had no issues with the Spec Ops and campaign part of the game. Now I'm going to talk into what a lot of you guys have been playing, the multiplayer. I always have been a fan of the multiplayers in all the Call of Duty games, and there's a ton of issues that I want to point out real quick that's, you know, pretty obvious by this point. So now that we're at the bread and butter of Call of Duty games being the multiplayer, I do want to talk real quick about this hideous UI that they decided to choose. I know a lot of people have made this joke. People have been calling it the Hulu developers because they made everything horizontal, and I didn't really see it, and now I can't unsee it, you know what I mean? If you look at your friends list, why do you have to scroll to the right to look at that? Why is everything horizontally made, so I have to keep scrolling around to see what, like, where my friends are, and why does it not show them playing right away? Why does it show my friends list first or something? It just doesn't make any sense. I also think that making like my game run harder at the lobby in the menu than actually in game is just preposterous. I have absolutely no idea why they need to have animations of people walking around checking their guns when really no one gives a shit. Now, to the 10% of the people who do care, like at all, and I mean at all period, they should just have it similar to how they did in Ghost back in the day, when you just had to scroll around, you see the call sign, the emblem, and then their character with their showcase gun. That's really all you need, and you don't get anything more out of this except for my game runs at now 15 frames and I start crashing at the menus. There are like 33,000 TikTok tutorials on how to not lag or crash in the menus, which is just insane for a Call of Duty game to be that bad. Now, speaking of crashing, I've crashed so many times, and obviously in the intro video, that was first of many. I played the game for about a week now. Obviously, it's been a week at launch on this Friday when I'll be uploading. This game has so many issues with crashing. Now, Call of Duty games in the past have too. I know Vanguard had some issues. Cold War, personally, I played a lot more Cold War than Vanguard. And in Cold War, there were maps where you would just crash at launch, or just randomly halfway through a game you'd crash. And I got those, and those were annoying towards the end. But I've never had as much crashing as in this game. Now, the game runs amazing on my computer. It runs smooth, 60 frames. I have had no issues with any sound or any of that. It's been fine. But the game graphically is just not there yet in terms of having issues. I literally spawned in gunfire!
Troops in contact!
Dude, what the fuck? It clearly was just rushed out the door, and it's kind of sad because I've been wanting to enjoy this game a lot more, but because of how they set up the game too quickly, they launched it too quickly, and now we're all complaining about crashes, whether it be in-game or in the freaking lobby. Why is that a thing? Speaking of that, there has been a common issue with people not being able to see other people. Not just like red dots or anything, but just period. If you've seen any of those clips of people seeing the void, you'll know what I mean. There are legitimately thousands of lighting issues and errors that a guy has already broken down, and how they could fix it in just a couple minutes. And I just think it's insane that Call of Duty has still allowed these issues to progress. Now, I know a lot of it's due to their advanced capabilities and their graphics, but I don't know how this is happening every year, and I just keep complaining that I'm paying $70 for a video game and it doesn't work half the time. I also gotta say, speaking of bugs, there are too many graphical issues in terms of shader caches. If you don't know what shader caches are, they're basically your game tries to download textures of the map so that you load in faster the next time. Apparently on a bunch of different computers there is this issue where your computer will load in the cache and just immediately crash after it. And I think it's hilarious that it's trying to optimize your gaming performance and just optimize your just enjoyment of the game by loading in faster, just for you to crash more often. So, you know, it is what it is. I don't want to hear one PC because I don't have one. Okay, this PC is a fucking chunk of change, if you know what I'm saying. And I've updated everything properly, and it's funny when you go now on social media, they're always telling you don't update this, don't optimize that because you'll crash, and it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? I feel like these updates should be able to help, but they don't. Speaking of which, let's talk about into some other gripes in-game that I have a problem with. The spawns are super inconsistent. There's sometimes where I will spawn in front of gunfire and die, and sometimes I'll spawn legitimately in the enemy spawn and just shoot them in the back. I don't know what is happening. I don't know why Call of Duty has continued to change how their spawn system worked. I had a fantastic time in Cold War, and yes, there were some spawn trappy maps, but that's what kind of made it fun for me. I've always been someone who's loved to pub stomp, and although the skill-based matchmaking is in this game as well, I did not feel it as much. mostly because I am kind of dog shit. But don't call me a boomer and complaining about everything, because I used to be a gamer back in the day. This is just a year ago, actually.
His entire team, like, 4 times over. Now they just got a guy watching. I mean, they're gonna lose the game now, so whatever at the end of the day.
Oh my god, I just hit a clip. I just hit a clip! So this is kind of piggybacking off the UI experience, because this is how I started to hate the attachment system in the game. The UI does not help me figure out where do I have to go to get a certain attachment. Some attachments don't even have a progression. You can't even unlock them yet. Some people are getting bugs where they can't even unlock certain guns just for the hell of it. But for me, I can kind of completely hate this attachment system. I do enjoy that they allow you to choose a variety of different weapons to get new ones and stuff like that. But as someone who likes to enjoy things and have fun and not suffer through something, I've suffered enough, okay? I play Dota and World of Tanks sometimes. Listen, I know how grind feels, okay? But I want to get to the bigger point of why the attachment system is actual buns. The main reason, is that you're forcing me to use guns that I would not want to do, not want to play with, not want to use, just for the sake of getting a certain attachment for a different gun. For example, I used the shotgun, the semi-automatic shotgun. I needed to get it to level 7. So what did I do? I ran around one-shotting people with this shotgun. And I felt slimy. I didn't want to play like that. But it's just how the game wants me to play. I'm not going to flame anyone for trying to get double kills with a rocket launcher like a chimp. I don't care about that kind of thing. But if you're forcing me to change how I play the game to where it's no longer enjoyable, I have a problem with the game. And that's just a larger issue. Some people will say, you're just being a little bitch about it. But listen, I don't care how you play your game. But for me personally, I would love to just play with the guns I like to play with, that feel good, and I'll progress through using those guns, not by grinding out different guns, okay? I don't want to use a semi-rifle that's overpowered as hell, okay? I don't want to use a Lockman 7.62 with all these attachments on it, because in the end, I just want to run around with an AR, SMG, whatever, and I just am not allowed to because I need to unlock certain attachments or a different gun or whatever. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of that. So if you guys also haven't heard, there's going to be some map changes. Mostly, some of them are already taken out of the game. The museum map from the beta is already taken out over copyright issues. And now there's a few other maps that are probably going to be taken out of the game due to copyright issues. And unfortunately, they're all the good maps. Maps like the Raceway, as well as some other ones, probably going to be taken out of the game. Don't know how this is happening. It's probably something on Call of Duty's end that forgot to dot their I's, or maybe it's something completely different. Maybe they copied it too well. I'm not quite sure, but that's a shame, really is, because I like some of the maps of the game, and I think it's hilarious that launch maps will be taken out of the game just because of copyright issues. That's probably their fault. Overall, the worst part about this launch is that the bugs are tremendous. I crash every other game, and that's not, everyone's not experiencing crashes. I guarantee you a lot of the console people are probably having a fun time, but the optimization for PC, which is what a larger and larger player base has been moving to, has not been great. The gameplay is amazing when you get in game, and that's if the UI actually sucks ass. The attachment system is like doo-doo far bad, but the camo system is amazing, with not having Gremlin 75 mountain kills, but instead having 20. It's just a way healthier way to play the game. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day and fantastic rest of your week. Call of Duty has always had issues at launch, and this one's no different, but I'm really happy about how the game state is in-game and when I'm not crashing. So anyways, have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys later. Adios. Goodbye. Speaking of healthy, by the way, I am so poor now. I am eating Fruity Pebbles out of a coffee cup with a spoon. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I need some clout. Okay, I need something to go right in my life. So make sure to subscribe or make sure to like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't know what it'll be. Probably Dota. Avios.